breaking news. The biggest money laundering scam we've ever seen here in America. I'm so happy that Trump is the president. Man, this is going to be good. Because if they get to investigating, uh, how much of this money was really spent in these programs versus how much wasn't, they're going to have to explain where that money went. And this is good for them. I'm so happy to see the Democrats getting their asses kicked. It feels good to see Democrats getting a foot up their asses. It is good. They're being exposed for the crooks that they are. Now I'm gonna go over this really quickly. This is a brief synopsis. This is not even everything, guys. This is Trump just wanted to get the information out to us because they are being very transparent and they are putting out a lot of information. So they don't want to overwhelm, the American people. So they're giving it to us in bits and pieces. But boy, when we get everything all together, we are, I'm already angry. I'm pissed. So, let's check this out here. 1.5 million to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion in Siberia's workplaces and business communities. What the hell are we doing in Siberia's business? Why are we in Siberia's business trying to create a problem over there where there isn't one? And we're spending $1.5 million on minding somebody else's business and creating a problem for them, which we'll eventually just abandon and leave it, and then they'll be in a disarray and it'll be our fault. When we should just mind our business and we could have kept that 1.5 million home. Because infrastructure in a lot of states are begging for infrastructure. New York is one of them. We need infrastructure here. How about you to put that 1.5 million into infrastructure in New York City? Then this one really pissed me off. It's not even the most, the biggest expenditure, but $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland. I would have loved to see. I'm very curious as to what the dialogue and who the characters will be in this type of musical. I'm really ridiculous. You have people dying here, people suffering here. The veterans, they had to create their own organizations to kind of help them out, get ramps built and things like that, little necessities they need after they risk their lives and they come back wounded. They have to go to private funding and organizations, and you have $70,000 for a musical. When the hell did the government become Hollywood? Because last time I checked, if I want to see a musical, I'll go to Broadway, or Hollywood, or film some type of musical movie or something. If you're into that. I didn't know that the government is, you know, uh, not only trying to push and curtail the type of material that we get online and everything, but now they're doing musicals. Very interesting. That really pissed me off, though. 2.5 million for electric vehicles in Vietnam. Oh boy, I think they have pretty long roads. I could imagine how many of them are going to be stranded out there in these electric vehicles. They don't have, like traffic lights, and they're not going to be able to build all of those the charging stations that you got to have for the cars. We don't even have enough of them. But I doubt that Vietnam is going to be able to build, all of those. It may not be applicable in certain areas. It just may not be feasible for them to build right there. So what do they do when they? I don't know. But yep, 2.5 million. And mind you, in the beginning of Joe Biden's presidency, the first thing he did was give them the $500 billion that President Trump had earmarked for the platinum plan. He added five onto it. He made it $505 billion, and he gave that to them. So they got 505 billion plus another 2.5 million for some electric vehicles. Then, this is beautiful. We have 47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia. You know, I mean, I don't even mean to disrespect people's countries, but there's a huge drug problem, and there's a lot of violence and stuff going on. That 47,000, if you called yourself wanted to be a do-gooder, you know, and you want to be in people's business, that could have went towards maybe the crime prevention in Colombia or something like that. I don't know why you would do a transgender opera. How is that helping the people of Colombia? Now you're just gonna waste money. That money should stay home. That's waste because this is not gonna help Colombia. This is what they mean by cutting waste. This is what Elon is doing, and everybody is upset about it because, like I said, this is the biggest money laundering scam we've seen in America since, I don't know, the mob or whoever. Think about the biggest money launderer, and they ain't got shit on the Democrats. This is like a Rico. The biggest. This will be the biggest Rico case if they could really round them up. If they weren't who they were, and they could, this would be a huge Rico case. Because I don't believe they spent nowhere near any of this amount of money on these type of silly, simple-minded programs. Then we have $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru, because that's going to help the people of Peru. They need a transgender comic book. They don't have, I don't know. It's really none of our business what their issues are or whatever like that. It's good to help people or whatever, but this is ridiculous. A transgender comic book is not going to help Peru. That's waste. This is what Elon Musk is doing. He's cutting waste. $2 million for sex changes and LGBT activism in Guatemala. $2 million. $6 million to fund tourism in Egypt. Now that is so stupid, right? Because here we are in an era of social media. And so if you haven't figured out how you can kind of monetize your country on social media to get people to come near, show the sites, get people to dance, show your restaurant. If you haven't figured that out, then $6 million is just going to be wasted. That's just going to go in like the top person's pocket or whatever, and that's going to be that. And the Democrats know that. That's why I don't believe they spent $6 million. I don't believe they spent $6 million. If they're saying $6 million, they might have gave them like $1.2 million and rerouted the rest to some other program they were doing to illegal aliens, or a slushy fund, for them later for Christmas time for the grandkids. Hundreds of thousands of dollars for a nonprofit linked to designated terrorist organizations, even after Inspector General launched an investigation. So after there was an investigation, they still gave them hundreds of thousands of dollars. After the investigation bear fruit that these people were linked to a designated terrorist organization, they still gave them hundreds of thousands of dollars. Because the Democrats don't give a damn about, fighting terrorism. As far as they're concerned, they'll feed the American people right to the lions. And we were experiencing that the last 4 years. And some of us still are. They're out in New York. They are committing Latino crime, and they are robbing their cars every day and every night. They are robbing, their people. And the Democrats here aren't doing a damn thing about it. They're not talking about it. They're not even empathizing with the people. They're not even trying to empathize. Be like, oh, I'm so sorry that happened. They're not even putting a front on. They just don't care. They allow these people to come here and steal and steal and steal and rob people blind. And so it's not shocking to me that they would be sending money to a terrorist organization or allowing that, to go down after witnessing the last 4 years. Millions to Echo Health Alliance, which was involved in research at the Wuhan lab. So we know COVID came, from out of the Wuhan lab. They were over there doing gang of function research. We can say that now. Congressman, Senator Rand Paul, or Representative Rand Paul, he's already did all of the exposing on Dr. Fauci's medieval mind and what he was doing over there with his pinky in the brain people from the lab over there in Wuhan. So Rand Paul, he is great. He's dope. Him and his father, I've been a follower of them for a long time, even though Democrat was thrown around in the family that he be Democrat. But I've always listened to him and his father. They were talking about the federal, the FBI and, cutting their organizations and stuff for years, and nobody wanted to hear it. But I was glad to see Rand Paul stand up. I mean, Senator or Congressman Rand Paul step up and really handle Dr. Fauci. So I appreciated that. Definitely did. He deserves more. They don't really give Senator Paul really any shine or whatever, but he definitely deserves it for what he did on the gain of function research. Okay, so we know the truth. So don't try to knock my video down because it's all out there now. Hundreds of thousands of meals that went to Al Qaeda affiliated fighters in Syria. Okay. And so this is the stupid thing. This reminds me of, we always stick in our nose and stuff. And it reminds me of when we gave Iran, guns. Iran and Russia was having a little dispute and they could have worked it out between them. It had nothing to do with us. But whoever the president was at the time decided to stick their damn nose into that, and they provided, the Iranians with guns and stuff at that time. And so that ended up backfiring because they ended up busting on us. And I don't this it's not funny. This part is not funny because in the war in Middle East over there, about between the casualties and the wounded, there's about 22,500. And that's rest in peace to the casualties, our military soldiers, our casualties in the military. Excuse me, I get tongue tied sometimes. But rest in peace to all of those soldiers who lost their lives unnecessarily to a lot of us out there in the Middle East. Um, it's just sad, and it's about $2 trillion. I think we spent $2 trillion about on that, and now here we are providing hundreds of thousands of meals. And guess what? The Iranians and Russia are friends now. They're even doing some type of deal or something to strengthen their bond. So we went sticking our nose into their dispute, and now we're on the outside, and Iran and Russia are getting closer together. Okay. So there you go. That's what happens when you go brown nosing, getting into everybody's business. And sometimes you just need to step back and mind your own damn business. And that's what I like about Trump. Trump is I'm a mind my business type of president. If it don't concern us, hey, don't start none, don't be none, and that'll be that. And I like that. And he's a strong president. Just because he doesn't want to start wars with everybody doesn't make him a less, president that, doesn't exuberate strength. He does. He displays strength and intelligence because going to war, nobody really wins. Nobody wins when you gotta, keep going to all of these funerals and, talking to the families. That's not winning. That's not a winning moment. So Trump is a great president. He wants us out of wars. He wants us to have peace. Let's make money, be happy, build, get into technology, make the American people happy or whatever. Then whatever scraps, is left over, whatever they decide to do, then we do. But all of this is waste. And this is why Elon Musk is here. I get tired of them using my community, hyping them up with all of this stuff. And then a lot of us don't come and, really get the details or whatever. So we need to come and get the details of this stuff. This guy, Elon Musk, is cutting waste. This is terrible. This is money coming out of your pocketbook, and you should be outraged. And this is just a snippet. There's millions and millions and millions of more dollars of your money. Okay? And look at this, the last one right here. Oh boy, you're going to love it. Hundreds of millions of dollars to fund irrigated canals, farming equipment, and even fertilizer used to support the unprecedented poppy cultivation and heroin production in Afghanistan, benefiting the Taliban. So here we are in America talking about our drug problem, and the Democrats have funded our drug problem with hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, who's running? Who was running out the White House for? No wonder we found cocaine in the library. I wonder how many more stashes they had in there. This is the problem. The Democrats have a huge drug problem, and until they face their drug problem, and we are gonna suffer as long as they're in office. They're drug addicts. They had our soldiers guarding the poppy fields or whatever and they're building these irrigated canals, and they're so nice and smooth. Let me show you one. It's dinner time. I'm hungry, so I'm gonna wrap this up really quick. Um, this is the irrigated canal. This is what millions of taxpayers are paying for here in America. This is what we're paying for. A lot of our soldiers were guarding these fields. I'm not really sure if this is poppy field. I typed it up, and I'm assuming these are poppy fields because I'm not a drug grower. I know marijuana though, and I mean this doesn't look like marijuana or whatever. So this is probably some poppy field seeds, or whatever, heroin leaves or whatever they got going on. The drug dealers and people who grow it, they'll know what this is. But we lost a lot of soldiers, and a lot of soldiers were wounded. I'll give you a number: 22,500. That is a mix of our wounded warriors and casualties who didn't come home at all. Okay, and they had a lot of them guarding these, and I could imagine if you are guarding drugs, how people will come with guns more than likely and probably shoot at you. Okay, because they want to get access to those drugs because drugs sell themselves. Okay, and people are making millions, and the Democrats are using it. They're on, you know, all types of pills and potions or whatever up there, and you can tell. And so, this has to stop. Shout out to Trump and his cabinet for doing a wonderful job. The new appointees. I can't wait till everybody just, gets in together and they start having those roundtable meetings. Woo! I can't wait, especially with Cash Patel. I can't, man, oh man, oh man. But this is, like I said, it's a money laundering scheme. I believe it's a Rico. You have criminal organizations because you have Al Qaeda and the Taliban who they are um, forwarding funds to. And it's drug related. It's right in our faces. They can't hide it or whatever. So, they're getting scared, and you're gonna start to hear their scary, scary rhetoric. And five, four, three, two, one. You're gonna start to hear it because they are really panicked. This is really big. This is really big, and this is not everything. Like I said. But I just wanted to show you, like, look, we have people who are sick on their last leg. Funds, savings have been depleted over these last 4 years, and they're supporting drug venues. They're doing drug business across the world. And they come, oh, we have a terrible drug problem. We have to. They don't care about you having a drug problem because they have one. Seriously. So yeah, cut the cost. Dole just doing excellent with the USA. He's doing excellent. I would like to abolish aid. Is come to us. You need something. If we feel like we want to help, we help. If we don't, we don't. Like just cut the aid out. You know, Especially if you're not going to take care of home. The Democrats go skipping around everywhere, skipping around Candyland, and then they don't want to do anything at home. Because doing something at home would predominantly mean doing something to benefit FBAs, and they don't want to do that. Okay, so I'm hungry. So this is it. Have a good one.
Woohoo! Yay!